Hi there guys, it's obviously a bit dark as you can see. I was going to do a little try of my new, what have we got it? It's a Sea to Summit cooking set. Unfortunately I kind of set out this morning and forgot it, so I had to turn back and go and get it. That's what happens when you get old, you start forgetting things. So yeah, it's a nice little cooking set, and it's got some, let me see, little lid, little kettle, and a nice big pot. I don't know if you can see that. That's quite cool. It'll do a lot of water, that will. Nice frying pan. And this is the little pop. Ooh, this is the little pop-up kettle. That's quite cool as well. I like that. And it's got a little lid. So we're going to try and do a bit of evening brunch. Well, it's probably what would you call it if it's in the evening? It's not really brunch as such. It's going to be, you know, evening tea come late breakfast. But yeah, and I also brought my little rocket stove that I made a long time ago. I just did a little TikTok on that one. This was made out of a few coffee cans. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Just tack screwed together, and obviously I can't quite see in camera. Let me try and get it. There we go. Just a little inside outside bit. You can see my hole. Cut it out with the Dremel, and obviously I've now painted it with hopefully stove enamel paint. We'll see how that fares this evening. But I'm going to try and light that the old traditional way. I've got a little bit of some combustible material, which is just the fluff that you get from your tumble dryer, and I've got a few little shavings, and we've got a few dry sticks, and see if we can get that going to start with, because it's getting a bit cold. So I've got it all prepped up here. Got a little metal tin. It's a little picnic bench outside, and I don't really want to obviously sort of damage their bench, so I'll put a little bit of fluff in there. Another thing you can use, I don't know if anybody's ever realised, but cotton buds. If you take the cotton wool off a cotton bud and fluff it out a little bit, that makes quite good fire starting material as well. So we're going to give this a go. I haven't tried this for a while. Get out the big knife, and there's a little striking bit on there. Let's see if I can give this a go. So, excuse me, oops. Right down here a little bit. Go. I got it going. Took a few attempts. Sorry about that. Been a while since I had a practice. So we've got it going there. A little bit more fluff to get it going. And we're going to just drop that into the stove. Not sure if you can see that. I won't be able to do it in a while because I haven't got, and we'll bang a few sticks in here. These are just dry sticks I picked up from the ground around me. So yeah, see if I can get this going and maybe get a coffee on the boil. Come on, babies. We are getting there. Sticks are a little bit damp, so maybe we'll give up on that. We'll give that a go another time. So anyway, if that's not going to work, we'll have another try at that in a moment. I think what I'll do is I'll get the old Jetboil out, and we'll give this a go instead. So it's a nice little picnic site here. I know there's a few van lifers will probably like this. There's no charge as far as I'm aware. I'll check before I go. Obviously I believe you could park here for the night, but I will double check. and if I do, I'll update it on one of the Parking for the Night apps or something like that. So anyway, I mentioned to you on the last video, couldn't get any Jetboil gas. I managed to pick the last 4 cans up in Go Outdoors in the UK just last week. So this is a lot better for the Jetboil. So let's get this one on the go and see if we can get a coffee going. So this is my 15-year-old Jetboil. And what I am going to do that's the little ring that comes with it. Should have put that on first really. What I am going to do, I'm going to try out the new kettle, I think. That'll be a good idea. So this is Cedar Summit, and there we go, grab some water. Steve Wallace, he's a chap in America I like watching, or I think it might even be Canada. He'd probably quite like this video because it's kind of stealth cooking. He does stealth camping, I'm doing stealth cooking, or coffee making at the moment. Well, that should be enough for a small cup of coffee. No, I'll do a little bit more. And that was the little lid for it. Nice little handle, and we'll get him on the go. So, coffees are making. We'll give the little rocket stove a go a little bit later on. I think the sticks are a little bit damp, but we'll give it another go in a bit. So as I said, I had a challenge from one of my followers to cook a breakfast on the Jetboil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out another stove, and what I'm going to do is see if I can cook a breakfast, which should have been this morning, but stupid me left the bag behind with all the cooking utensils in it, so a bit of a dumbass. But let's get the second stove out and see where we go from there. So this is the MINIMO that I had a little while ago, and you've seen featured on a couple of videos. I'm not going to use the actual stove itself. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just use the actual burner. So we're going to keep that safe. Oh, go out of the way. Oh, I bought a nice little pop-up cup as well. That's quite cool. So I was a bit fed up of carrying around cups that broke. So this is a little, who makes this? This is a Life Adventure cup. Falls down quite flat, as you can see. Not very big. Probably sit inside my frying pan there set. So that's going to be my coffee cup in a mouth. This is the second Jetboil with the improved burner, as I said before. It's got some sort of regulator on it, and when I bought the first Jetboil, you had to buy the actual little cooking ring separately. Just something to bear in mind is that when you buy the new MINIMO, or maybe even the new Jetboils, I'm not sure, but this cooking ring comes with it now. So if ever you're sort of buying a Jetboil as a gift for somebody, they will have these as additional accessories, but don't bother because it comes with the Jetboil. Just double check on the packaging to make sure. So don't take my word for it. But that's the burner. I'm sure I've got another gas in here somewhere, it says. Yep, got another gas, another Jetboil gas. And let's get this one up and running. I think I'll put this one actually on the stand because we're going to be cooking a breakfast, and I don't want it falling over. That can go away. I needed a bit of oil. I didn't have anything to put the oil in, so I've got one of these little fruit juice drinks. It's in the UK they're like a little children's drink, but it's got nice little Jetboil cap, which I can pop back down, and I just keep a little bit of olive oil in there, and that should be good for cooking. So let's get this one fired up. Yeah, this one's a lot more controllable, I'd say, this flame, than the original Jetboil. But that's very controllable, but this is extremely controllable. Somewhere down here I've got some bits and bobs that I bought earlier, some goodies. I've got my little Holly here today as well. Come on here, Holly. Come here. Come here. Come up, you like. Come on. Up, 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 up. Come on. Come on. Say hello to Holly. She's my lovely little collie, and she's licking her lips here, hoping she's going to get a bit of breakfast today. So, I think first things first, I've got a bit of bacon. If we get that on the go, and I think I'll do a splash of olive oil. And somewhere I've got my Jetboil utensils yet. My fork. Oh, I've got some sausages as well. Actually, I forgot about those. I've actually got sausages. Blimey. Yeah, I bought this all this morning and kind of clean forgot about it all. So, so I left the stove behind, which is a bit silly of me. This is what happens when you get old. So, 1, 2, and I suppose I better do one for Holly. That's those done. I've even got, Ian, just so that you're thinking I'm not doing a proper breakfast, I've actually got black pudding, so I don't know how that's going to fare on the camp stove, but we'll give it a go. So, give that a nice swirl around and get the sausages on the go. Get a few strips of bacon out, I think. This is unsmoked back bacon rashers. I tried to get smoked, but obviously there was none in the shop today, so this was the best they had. So a couple of rashers of bacon, and let's see how that goes for now. Just got it on a very low heat, and you just see everything's in there nicely cooking. Probably need to turn that down, even though it's going to be almost on its minimum flame, to be fair. We're not going to need much any sausages either. I don't really want to burn anything, so there's my kettle going. I can see a little bit of hot water coming off of that. I think that's nearly boiled. So yeah, we're getting there slowly. Bacon can go away for now. Yeah, a little bit more heat, I think. Just a little bit more heat, here we go. So we're on the go, and it's getting darker, as we can see. If you see some light running in a minute, it's just a runner walking by with his head torch on. He's probably wondering what the hell I'm doing here. He'll probably be coming for breakfast in a minute. Yeah, I've got these little utensils from Jetboil. I was hoping they'd sort of not scratch the nice surface that's in the Sea to Summit frying pan. If you use anything sort of metal, it tends to scratch the surface, and obviously everything tends to stick, and then you've ruined your very expensive frying pan. So, little fork, turn the bacon over a little bit. How are we doing? Let's get in there slowly. I quite like this frying pan. It's got nice little, I think they're heat resistant sort of little handles on the side. You know, it's kind of quite neat. Bang a little bit more heat on there, I think. Right, I think the kettle's boiled. That's definitely boiled. Yep. So I'll turn that off a minute, just going to serve some gas. And I'm just going to nip and get some coffee. I realised I've left it in the car. So we'll be back in literally 2 minutes. Actually, the coffee's not in the car, so because it's a bit dark, I'm not sure where I put it, so bear with. There we go, coffee. And sugar. I should have a little bit of milk in this carton here. So it's not, all this stuff's not the kind of stuff you're going to take with you backpacking, of course. The challenge was, can I cook out of a sight box? And just behind me is obviously a Dewalt box I'm using to carry everything in. And obviously it sits in the boot of my car. I apologise for the aeroplane, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's an aeroplane going over right now. There's an airport nearby. Yeah, I carry a Dewalt storage box. The original Mark 1 box is not the Tough System 2, and it fit, 3 of those fit neatly in the back of my Mini Club one, which is just in front of me here. And it means I can carry all the kind of things I'd like to carry, so that I can have a nice cook up if I'm on site, or perhaps you know, like an evening meal if I'm sort of not fancying anything in a hotel. And obviously, or if I just stop on the side of the road somewhere, you know, on the way I can just pick some stuff up and just cook up a bit of breakfast. So there's a car coming up now. You'll probably see some headlights in a moment. Probably wondering what the hell's going on again. He's one of the residents that lives up the lane. So again, he's been wondering what the hell I'm doing here. So sausages are cooking up quite nicely. How are they doing? Can't really tell because they're not hard to see, but yeah, they're browning off quite nicely. Let's see if you can hear that. Now I did bring, I think, I quite like some beans with my breakfast. Yes, hopefully I can find it. There we go. Can of beans. I don't know what beans they are in different countries, but my favourite are Heinz baked beans. Can't beat them. And just for convenience, I've got a pull ring. So as it's getting a bit colder. So will that fit on there? Not quite. Okay, so the beans aren't going to fit on the stove. I was going to just warm them up that way. So what I think I'll try is I'll put them in the new this is the Eurohike little cup and pot I've got. So I'm going to bang a bit of that warm water into here. Don't need much. And I'm going to bang that on there. And then what we can do is just not fully open, just crack open slightly the lid, and pop that inside there. That should warm up the tin using the warm water. Let's have a look at these sausages. How are they doing? Probably need a bit more oil than that. So sausages are coming up nicely. Bacon's nearly done. I need to get that coffee on the go, don't I? So I'm not sure whether to try out my new cup or my new cup. Spot for choice. So I think what I'll do, I forgot the spoon again. No, actually no I haven't. I've got the Life Adventure ones. A bit big, but I can make a coffee with that. A little bit of coffee and a little bit of sugar. And some water from the new kettle. And a little bit of milk. I wasn't going to buy a whole carton, so I just got a little bit in a travel cup. Okay, here are the beans doing. There's the coffee and coffee. Oh, that's good. I like the cup as well. It's quite. I can't even feel the heat from that. Again, it's neoprene, so even though the water's quite hot, I'm not feeling the heat to that. Just a gentle warmth, which would be nice on a cold evening, keeping your hands warm. So let's get and see how my sausages are doing. Okay, well they're getting on quite nicely. I think the bacon's starting to stick a little bit. All right, let's take the bacon out. Give that a little bit of a wash over because we had the fire in there earlier. And let's get out this bacon, which is starting to stick, I think. Okay, well the sausage is still a bit raw, so I'm giving it a little bit of a go. So we're getting there slowly. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll pop the lid of the cup on top of my bacon, and that'll keep that warm. So it'll stay warm for a minute. And the beans are doing quite nicely. And I might have oh yes, I did, brilliant. There we go. Right, so I've got my little baby egg frying pan to do an egg in a minute. So the eggs, I was trying to think how I could store them without them breaking. So I had an old paper towel cardboard tube, and what I've done is just stuffed some paper towel in one end, and if I just tear it open, it doesn't matter now because I'm getting the egg out. Inside you'll see an egg, and it's just a nice way of holding the egg, stop them rattling around in a cup or something and breaking. I suppose I should just buy a proper egg holder, to be fair, but me being a skinflint at the moment, I decided to just keep it in a tube. So I'm going to put a bit of olive oil in the pan, plenty of that. I'm going to crack that egg. Now that's ready for when I swap over the sausages. That's flavor cooking. Beans seem to be doing nicely. Yeah, these sausages aren't the best. They're sticking a little bit. But, you know, you get what you pay for. And unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of choice in the store this morning, so. So what I might do, my little breakfast thing's quite small in my pot. So I think what I'm going to do, probably just eat out of the frying pan, and that will save them a little bit of mess. I've got a feeling those beans might well be done. So what I'm going to do is take them off for a moment and drop a bit of oil in there. And let's see if I can get this black pudding going as well at the same time. Ollie's been very good. So, black pudding's on. Maybe put the beans back on for a bit longer. Let it stay in there. So, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's much more fun when you're cooking camping in the daylight, and it's certainly much more fun cooking for you know, like a few of you if you're away for the weekend. Certainly I wouldn't take all this gear out cooking for one, but it was more about showing you that, you know, the Jetboil is able to be used as a cooker rather than just a pot boiling some water, with the help of some additional utensil cooking pots. And I think that might actually be done now. You can see the sausages are quite well done. Give the black pudding a bit of a turn. Get the black pudding in the middle there. Maybe there's a bit of a good going over. Yeah, so it's just showing that you can use the Jetboil to cook if you've got a small frying pan. This is obviously designed for backpackers and camping, and it folds flat. So does the kettle. The lid I'm currently using to keep my bacon warm in another pot. And I might just sort of swap that over to keep it warm. Give him a few minutes on there. Just in case that gets hot, I've got a nice little, I don't know what you'd even call that. Comments in the bottom if you like. But it's just like a little grabby thing for the pot because there's no handle on that old style pot. How we do it? Black pudding. I think what I've realised is we're on a bit of a slope here, so all the oil's running down the back of the pan, and that's why it's catching a little bit. But I'll give that a bit of a turn. There we go. Bacon's warmed up a little. I'll slip a cough. So I met an interesting chap earlier on who'd asked me, am I doing a YouTube channel? And I had to say, well, yes. And so we ended up having quite a big long chat, and I asked him to follow Marcus's live, who started me on this game, and so hopefully will, and he took both of our details, and so hopefully Marcus and I will have a new follower soon. Sadly, I forgot to catch his name, but in a really interesting chat, and he was telling me about a few people he follows and what have you. And so I'll certainly look up those guys once he becomes a follower. We can just ask a reminder of who they were. I mentioned to him the Steve Wallace guy over in Canada I quite like, and also mentioned Simon, a bloke in the woods, who does a lot of this cooking kind of stuff in his bivvy tents, and takes his little dog along with him. I think what I'm going to do is put my egg on. I'm going to give the egg a little go on my baby pan. I don't think we're far off. I don't really see with this light here. I think the black pudding's kind of definitely done. There's one more go on that side. Yeah, so we're getting there slowly. The beans have definitely warmed up. Let's just double check. Nope, maybe a bit longer. Probably definitely a bit longer. In fact, I'll put the rest of that water in there just to get it going. Let's just take that down for a second. Let's give that a bit of a boil up. Beans aren't quite hot enough. There's nothing worse than cold beans. Well, some people like cold beans. I'm not a fan of cold beans. So the sausages are looking quite nicely done. Black pudding's looking quite nicely done. Just double checking that. Probably needs a titchy bit more in the middle. And we're going to get these beans warmed up a titch, and then we'll go back to the frying pan again. There's my egg doing. Probably needs a bit more on that. He's coming nicely. Oops. All this smell of food's making me feel hungry now. Holly's just gone to sleep down here. She's just wandered off and just having a little nap. She had a good run around earlier with the ball, and I think she's just looking forward to a sausage now, so I'll have to let that cool down for her before she can eat it. How are we doing? It's funny that it's we're just outside Bristol. It's just a little pull in here that you can stay on. There's a little pub down the road that does some nice food, Sunday lunches and what have you. And there's a nice walk up the hill to a couple of farm shops. And like I said, this little car park here, I think I'm the only car here now. When I pull out later, I'll just do a little video of that for any campers or van lifers that are looking to find a spot. There's picnic benches here, of course, so if you want to sit out in the nicer weather and do what I'm doing, that would be certainly something that would help you. And I think eggs coming along. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, eggs going nicely now. So I probably don't need to have too much longer on there. Maybe a touch longer. I like this little pan because it keeps the egg together in a little round circle, so it's a cute little sort of shaped egg. I think the beans might be enough now, so I'm going to put them back down. Put this back on for a final warm up. Yeah, eggs definitely doing. You hear that going? I don't know if you can see that. It's cooked quite nicely, that egg. Probably need to turn that down a titch. I suppose what I could have done, keep the heat in here a little bit. I never thought about that. Does that fit? No, not quite. I thought that lid might have fitted. It kind of sort of goes over it. It will keep the heat in a little bit and help, because it's quite cold out, so I think the outside is taking the heat away from the food and obviously don't overdo things. So the eggs pretty much done. I think we might actually be okay. So, one of my famous pop-up pots. Again, these are quite nice sized bowls. Yeah, the beans are pretty there now, but just a little bit lost of blast. So I think I'm going to try and get my egg out. So I think he's pretty much done. That's on the side there. Not sure if you can see that. I can go down for washing somewhere. Put that over there. I can get my bacon out. Just gonna go back in the pan for a warm up. Ollie, come here. Quick. Come here, up you come. Quick. Ah. Up you come. Want it or no? No, don't want it. She don't want it. She's a fussy dog. Just have a little bit of a pre-warm with the bacon because it's been sat there for a while. The sausages should be okay. Excuse me, I'm going to just stand a minute and get a little bit of light on this. Right, that sausage is just done quite nicely. I'm pretty certain the black pudding's done. I think he's definitely done. So I've got black pudding, sausage, one we're missing, bacon. Need a little bit of bacon in that. And leave a bit for Holly. Chop those up for it. Tasty. And what are we missing? Beans. So the lid's come off, which is annoying. Where this little grubby thing comes in handy actually. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, a few beans, and it's hard to see in the dark actually. It's really annoying. So I've got a few beans, and there you go. I'm not sure if you. There we go. So I'm kind of back, nearly done. Holly's had her little snacks, and I'm nearly finished. And might need another coffee before we clear up. Yeah, it's gone a bit cold, so we're going to probably do one more coffee, do a bit of boiled water to wash the pots, and we'll be on our way. So I'll catch up in a mo. So, how are you doing? So we've done most of the clearing up. Just need to find a little rubbish bag for that. Had a final cup of coffee, and I just managed to get the little rocket stove going, just to show you that it does actually work. I had to cheat a little bit and use a fire starter, but just to show you that, you know, it's just a case of feeding from the bottom, as you do like this. This is on a metal camping, like it's like a picnic bench, but they've got a metal, quite a heavy steel plate there, so I'm guessing that's for barbecues in the summer. So it's not going to hurt the bench But yeah, this is just using twigs found from the ground. As you can see, you know, it's burning quite nicely, and a little bit smoky in my direction. Probably sitting the wrong side. That's what's making me cough a little bit. But I just wanted to show you the rocket stove in action, and yeah, you could put a pot on there, as so, not this one, and boil up some water. And that was made out of a couple of, like I say, Altazira. I think I say you pronounce it, the coffee, the nicer sort of coffee that you get in a tin, sort of with granules. I'm not sure if you can see, but this is something called an O-light. Here we go, O-light. And I'm told if you put it on high power, which is pretty much only for a few seconds, perhaps 30 seconds at most, I think, you are supposed to be able to light a fire. So I'm going to give this a little go. There's a little bit of tinder here, as you can see, and what I'm going to do, it's on its highest setting now, and I'm just going to see if that will actually light. Interesting if it does. Something's happening. Something's definitely happening. Never actually tried this before, so I just knew it could do it, and I've been curious for a while. There's definitely a bit of smoke coming off, and it's not from the fire. Not sure I'd rely on this method, mind you. I think the battery might run out before the fire starts. But I have seen it done, so maybe I'll give that another go another day. It's definitely some smoke coming off the tinder, but it's not kind of catching anything alight just yet. So, and I'm sure this only lasts for a very short period of time. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give that another go another day. It's quite chilly out tonight, and perhaps I didn't charge it up fully, but we'll give it another go, give it a fair shout. Let's say that they have the O-light reckon you can light a fire, and maybe that's with the bigger ones, I'm not sure. This is quite a small one that goes on a head torch. It's got a little attachment for you know, to put like a headband around, and it's quite a good torch. I don't know if you can see. That's pretty bloody damn bright, and it's got 3 levels, obviously, as you can see. It's the brightest one that's meant to be able to light a fire, but clearly not today. So anyway, I'm going to bid it good day, and or good evening even, and if you have watched me and enjoyed this video, very much appreciate if you could subscribe and perhaps give me a thumbs up, and obviously maybe share the video with people who might also be interested in what I'm doing here. And so I'm going to call it an evening because it's getting a bit chilly, and I think Holly's getting a bit bored. So we'll see you soon, and thanks for following, and goodbye. So just the last thing I said I'd do is show you this pretty decent sized car park, and obviously it's all fairly secluded, and there's my beloved Mini, and that's where I was cooking, just there, and there's some nice country walks all the way up there, some more park benches over the back, as you can see. I think there's a bit one further on, but you can't see in the dark, and just up that yonder way over there is a path that goes all the way up during the day to a couple of farm shops. Yeah, I'll put the location on one of the van life apps just to show where you can stay, and there's definitely no signs saying no overnight parking, so pretty much I reckon you could park here, and even the owner's driven past twice and hasn't said a word to me, so I'm pretty certain it would be fine. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching once again, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.